Our next speaker today is a giant among men. He's the type of guy I always think of as like sitting in the front row of the movie theater where you get a crick in your neck looking up at him. Jed Richardson, he earned his bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from Rutgers University. He joined Johnson & Johnson as a project manager in 2000. During his tenure with Johnson & Johnson, he's developed and managed numerous energy reduction projects throughout the country, from concept through completion, highlighted by a number of solar, photovoltaic, and cogen projects. In addition, he's held the position of energy engineer with supply-side energy purchasing responsibilities. Currently, Jed is the global energy director for Johnson & Johnson and has worldwide responsibilities for developing and delivering the company's goals and objectives related to energy reduction and sustainability. Please join me in welcoming Jed Richardson.
So I just want to start off by giving a little bit of background about our company. Hopefully you've heard of this. We've been in business for 126 years. We're one of the world's largest healthcare companies. And we do have three unique sectors. Most of you are probably familiar with our consumer product sector, our baby care products, Band-Aids, Tylenol. But that's actually the smallest part of our business. We also have a large pharmaceutical sector, and actually the largest part of our business is the medical devices sector. We do have more than 250 operating companies around the world. And I know it's hard sometimes for people to know which companies are Johnson & Johnson companies and which are not. But I can tell you for sure that Johnson Controls and SC Johnson are not Johnson & Johnson companies. We do get that quite often. We have more than 115,000 employees around the world. And last year, our sales revenue was $65 billion. So to kind of put that in context for you, in my world, I'm responsible for global energy. And we spend about $300 million each year on our energy budgets. So when you look at that in relation to the 65 million, that's only 0.5% of our sales revenue is our energy spend. So energy is not necessarily a large part of our business, but regardless, we're focused on energy efficiency and sustainability for other reasons. So we define sustainability very similar to how Caesars does. And it really starts with our credo, and it's based on that triple bottom line, people, planet, and business. So I think we're seeing that more and more becoming the common focus for corporations around the world. And I think, many times I'm asked, why does Johnson & Johnson care about sustainability or energy efficiency or renewable energy? And the truth of the matter is, since we are one of the world's largest healthcare companies, human health is really our core business. So our leaders understand the relationship between human health and a healthy environment. And here's a recent quote from our CEO, Bill Weldon. He said, at Johnson & Johnson, we believe human health benefits from a healthy planet. Making our products more sustainable through design magnifies their benefits and is simply good business. So it's great to have that support from the top of the organization, and it runs all the way down through to the employee on the manufacturing floor. So our current leaders understood and understand sustainability, and our prior leaders understood sustainability as well. This is a picture of General Robert Woodward Johnson. He was credited with drafting what is known as the J&J Credo. And the Credo talks about responsibility. It talks about corporate responsibility. Responsibility to our employees, to our customers, to our shareholders, to the communities where we live and work, to the environment. So it really is our framework for sustainability. And what's kind of amazing about this document is he created this in 1943, well before anybody was talking about sustainability or corporate social responsibility. And this is actually a picture of the Credo etched in stone in our corporate office in New Brunswick. And it turns out when you write something in stone, it's very hard to change. It's been that way for a long time, and it's not going to change anytime soon. So because of that, we have kind of a long history of public reporting. So we think transparency is absolutely critical in this space. And that really started for us back in 1990 when we launched our first public pollution prevention goals. And it followed up in the early 90s when we started our sustainability reporting. And each year it's kind of increased in what we're trying to send out to the public as information. So in 2010, we wrapped up what we called our Healthy Planet 2010 goal set. And then at the same time, we moved into what is now our Healthy Future 2015 set of goals. So our new set of goals really follows that same triple bottom line of sustainability, where we have these three pillars. And you know, in the healthy people section, for J&J, we want to focus on things that were relevant to our business. And we focused on things like research and development for neglected diseases, affordable access to medicines, things like that. Within the healthy planet pillar, we talk about continuing our legacy of safeguarding the planet and you know, improving the environmental footprint of our operations. And then in the healthy business sector, we talk about our philanthropic efforts and our partnership with suppliers and how we can move sustainability in that way. So today, I'm just going to really focus on that healthy planet pillar. So we really do have a long history of energy management and sustainability. We actually have had a formal global energy program in place now for almost 30 years. So there's been a lot of work done, and we still have a lot of work to do. And we're constantly focused on improving our environmental footprint of our operations. And at the same time now, we're very focused on improving the sustainability of our products. And I'll just mention that in another slide here. So here's some of our public goals that we set with our new Healthy Future framework. We committed to a 20% absolute reduction in facility CO2 emissions by 2020. We decided to make this a 10-year goal over a longer period of time. And then we have a goal to increase our on-site clean or renewable energy technology to 50 megawatts by 2015. We also have a goal to decrease our fleet CO2 emissions. We have large sales fleets around the world by 20% by 2015. And we have a goal to reduce our water usage by 10% by 2015 as well. So I just want to talk for a minute about our product sustainability efforts. So we're constantly trying to minimize the impact of our products. So we established this internal framework called EarthWords to be able to rate our products on a point system and help us drive for improvement. So typical things we take on this area are like reducing the packaging that are used in these products, or reduce the amount of waste. We try and reduce the amount of energy used to create these products. We try and use more natural materials in the different products. And these are all put into a system and ranked, and the products that have done quite a bit to get the EarthWords designation. So our CO2 reduction strategy is pretty straightforward. You know, for us, just probably like all of you, everything starts with energy efficiency. They're by far the projects with the best payback, with the best CO2 benefit. So we're focused on that. We have a set of best practices at Johnson & Johnson that all of our facilities around the world complete every year to evaluate opportunities in this area. And once we get that in control, we'll move on and look at bigger projects like on-site cogeneration or on-site renewable energy initiatives. And then once we kind of evaluate all those opportunities, we'll look at green energy procurement really in the form of power purchase agreements now. So just a little bit about our results over the last 21 years. While our sales has increased about 400%, our CO2 emissions have remained relatively flat. And I think year over year, we had a 2% reduction target from 2010 to 2011, and we achieved a 5% reduction in that same period of time. So we're quite proud of that. At the same time, over this 21-year period, our square footage has increased dramatically, I think 35%. And at the same time, our energy costs have increased by 175%. So we're continuously trying to drive this down. You notice here that from 2003 to 2010, these green bars on the top represent the amount of green power that we purchase for our facilities. And in the beginning, we were very supportive of renewable energy credits and green power purchasing on a voluntary basis. But as time went on, we had a hard time understanding the impact we were having globally. And we were also, some groups were giving us a hard time about using voluntary carbon offsets to meet our public goals. So from here on out, we decided to go at this without the use of voluntary renewable energy credits. At the same time, we've been committed to clean or renewable energy for a long time. We consider clean energy a natural gas-fired cogen, fuel cells, biomass, things like that, in addition to the typical renewable energy sources. So currently we have 38 megawatts installed at our sites around the world, and that's growing, and they're made up of these kinds of projects. There's a few examples I put up here of projects that we have installed to date. The first one's a tri-generation system we installed at one of our Irish plants. The next one is a biomass boiler we also installed in Ireland. And then down the bottom, there's a picture of a solar array we installed at our close headquarters in New Brunswick. So in addition to the projects we have in place, we have a significant pipeline of projects that's always growing. So right now we have about 15 megawatts of projects in that design or early development phase, made up of these components. But we also have a long list beyond that of projects that are just in the early concept phase. So as some projects will drop off because of lack of financial return or other reasons, other projects will come on and we'll continue to install these projects around the world. We also made a corporate commitment to sustainable buildings. So a couple years ago, we committed that all new construction at Johnson & Johnson would be LEED certified or equivalent. And to date, we have 12 LEED certified buildings around the world. Here's just an example of a few of them. And I think what I'm most proud of is the last few projects that we did were in China. We have a couple LEED certified buildings in Shanghai, in the Philippines. So we're growing outside the US and we're driving these practices out there. I will say that we did learn that some of our LEED certified buildings weren't necessarily the most efficient buildings out there after they were built. So now we've started to concentrate on the energy and atmosphere section of the new construction within LEEDs. And we're trying to mandate a percentage above that ASHRAE profile for our new buildings. So to do all that, we really need some significant tools. And this is probably the best tool we have. We have a commitment from our finance community to $40 million per year capital fund to fund these kind of energy reduction projects around the world. So years ago, what happened was we had a really hard time getting funding for energy projects. Because we're so decentralized and the budgets lie at all the different sites and affiliates, every time we brought an energy project forward, general management at that site would say, hey, I can better use that capital in my manufacturing process or somewhere involved in my product that it's a better return for Johnson & Johnson. So, we're just going to hold off on the energy project. But at the same time, we knew that energy projects had a generally good return. They were most of the time a very safe bet. So we went to the head of finance at J&J and said, here's a great list of projects we can do. Just the only problem is we lack the capital. The sites are focused on other things. And he said, no problem. We'll establish a $40 million fund. We'll put some criteria around it, and we'll see how you do. So the criteria is that each energy project we approve has to have a 15% or better internal rate of return. That's about a 6-year payback. At the same time, it has to have meaningful CO2 reduction. And we look at the metric dollar invested per ton of CO2 saved. So to date, that was established in 2004, and to date, we've approved now 112 projects around the world and committed to spend over $260 million in this space. At the end of 2010, we actually completed 94 projects and saved over 138,000 metric tons of CO2 while delivering an average IRR of 19%. So believe it or not, our finance community was so happy with the way this was going that in the past few years, when there was lucrative incentive programs for solar energy or for cogeneration around the world, they actually allowed us to spend over our budget. So you can see at the bottom, 2010, 2011, we were allowed to spend $56 and $48 million in those years. So I think everybody's very happy with this program. Another thing I can mention is this pie chart. Like I mentioned earlier, the vast majority of what we fund here are energy efficiency projects. And from there, we do look at cogeneration, solar, and other type systems. Just want to show you all a couple examples of recent projects that we've completed. And this is typical every year we get these kind of projects. Everything from compressed air upgrade in India to lighting upgrade in one of our warehouses in Tennessee, to chiller upgrade in Puerto Rico and Jacksonville, to new boilers in the UK, or diesel to natural gas conversion in Thailand. So these are the types of things we're doing continuously every year. At the same time, since we're in New Jersey, I thought I'd share a little bit about some of the projects we've done in New Jersey over recent years. And these are two cogen projects we did at two of our sites in Raritan, New Jersey. One of them's a 1.5 megawatt Kawasaki turbine. The other one's a 3 megawatt Yambarker engine. Believe it or not, these were the first cogeneration projects that J&J had ever taken on. Many of our competitors had installed large cogeneration systems back in the 80s, but we were never there, and we built these a few years ago. And at first we did have a hard time operating them properly. We weren't used to the technology. Our folks there, our maintenance teams, weren't used to operating this machinery, so we had a hard time getting them running properly. So now that we've gotten used to technology over a couple of years, and because the natural gas rate has come down so much, they certainly are paying for themselves. This is a picture of a solar array we built in our information technology building, also in Raritan. It's a carport style system. What's nice about this system is the water does drain to the middle, and we recover that for site landscaping needs. At the same time, our employees love it. They love parking under this in the summertime, so their cars don't get so hot, and in the wintertime, so they don't get ice from their windshields. And we also installed a number of electric vehicle charging stations in this system as well. This was kind of a unique project for us. This is a 2 megawatt solar array at one of our Raritan sites. And this project we actually built right there in the front lawn of the 202 corridor. Now, most of the energy projects we do are behind the scenes, behind closed doors, on the roofs, where no one can see it. This one was not. This one was right out in the open. And I gotta say, when we first started to build the array, because it was in the front lawn, we did get some feedback from the public that wasn't so positive. And someone particularly was irritated with it was my wife, who told me that it looked like Arlington Cemetery when we had all the posts sticking out of the ground just to support the array. So we did spend a lot of time and money investing in natural landscaping to go around this array. And since then, we've received very positive feedback from the public. Here's another number of solar systems, about 2 megawatts we installed at our Skillman Consumer Products facility in New Jersey. There's a ground-mounted array in the upper right-hand corner there that's many years old. And then we started filling up the roof with solar, and actually just this last year we did complete the solar on the rest of the roof there. So it's providing a large percentage of the energy for that building. And this is actually the largest energy project we've ever taken on. This was a 4.1 megawatt solar array in our Titusville facility in New Jersey. It feeds an office and research complex there. It's about 500,000 square feet. And we also have 2 solar arrays on the roof of that complex. So altogether, the solar arrays provide about 80% of that site's annual electricity needs, which is kind of a big deal for us. What's really nice about this array is it did come with its own landscaping crew. You should roam underneath the array and trim down the weeds around the panels. So I know I kept this at kind of high level today for you all, but one of my colleagues is actually doing a presentation on Thursday morning getting into a little bit more detail about our program. So if you're interested in more information about our program, please attend this session on Thursday. Thank you.